very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Savindri Jawardana. Let's look at the top stories for the day. 25% reduction provided on electricity bills for the months of March, April and May. In contrast to several international agencies, several banks expect a contraction of GDP in the second half of 2020. News in detail. Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena announces that the Cabinet has agreed to provide a 25% reduction on electricity bills for consumers, those who had used less than 90 units per month in the months of March, April and May. Co-Cabinet spokesperson Gunawardena brought forward many other concessions given for the electricity consumers of the country, addressing the weekly Cabinet press briefing held in the Department of Government Information today morning.
මහින්ද අමරවීර අමාත්‍යතුමා ඒ නිලධාරීන් හා විශේෂඥ ආයතන ඉංජිනේරු පාලකයින් සමග සාකච්ඡා කරලා විශාල පිරිවැයක් දරාගෙන සහන මල්ලක් විදුලි බල පරිභෝජකයන්ට ඉදිරිපත් කළා. ඒ සහන මල්ලේ තිබුණා 0 සිට 90 දක්වා යුනිට් පරිභෝජනය කරන පරිභෝගකයන්ට මාර්තු අප්‍රේල් මැයි කියන මාස තුන සඳහා 125ක ගාස්තු අඩු කිරීමක් කරන්න ලැබිලා තියෙන බිල් පතෙන් 125ක් අඩු කරන්න. ඊළඟට තවත් මාස 3ක කාලයක් ඒ බිල් පත ගෙවීම සඳහා ලබා දෙන්න. පමා කාලය වෙනුවෙන් කිසිදු දඩමුදලක් අය නොකිරීම. මොනම හේතුවක් නිසාවත් විදුලිය විසන්ධි නොකිරීම කියන සහනයන් ජනතාවගේ පැත්තට ප්‍රදානය කරන්න එතුමා විසින් අමාරුවෙන් අලාභ විඳගෙන මේ යෝජනාව ඉදිරිපත් කළා. එයින් කුටුම්බයන්ගෙන් 73%කට ඍජුව විශාල වාසියක් ලැබෙන බව තමයි එතුමා සඳහන් කළේ.
Speaking further, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena added that further concessions will be provided to the electricity users of the country in the coming weeks. Gunawardena said that the Minister Amaravira was asked to find out whether further relief could be given through this package, such as increasing the 25% reduction up to 120 units. In the meantime, Joint Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Ramesh Pathiran added that the Cabinet nod was given to carry on halted construction activities of rural bridges using loan funds from UK and Netherlands. It has been planned to construct 537 bridges using UK loan funds under Phase 2 of the Rural Bridges project and 463 bridges using Netherlands loan funds under Phase 3 of the project. Thus, steps have been taken to build 81 and 27 bridges respectively at the original rates, including the rural bridges damaged by flood in 2017. Considering the contract variations caused by the essential repairs in the flood-affected areas, a proposal was presented by the Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs and Local Government, Janaka Bandara Thennakoon, to revise original contract values of the project. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers approved his proposal to revise the £100 million original contract value of the Phase 2 of the Rural Bridges project to £114.19 and €105 million original contract value of Phase 3 of the project to €105.25 upon the recommendation of the Cabinet-appointed Standing Procurement Committee. Moreover, international competitive bids have been called for the procurement of fertilizer for Ceylon Fertilizer Company and Colombo Commercial Fertilizer Company Limited for the purposes of August 2020. In the meantime, Minister Pathiran clarified some issues of the reporters.
Now you have to purchase 15,000 metric tons of triple phosphate. Now I wonder if you can remember there was a cabinet approval to use Pavila phosphate deposit to produce triple superphosphate. Yeah. What happened to that project?
No, that cabinet paper was put forward by Honorable Vimal Veeravan sir. That is to initiate production of triple superphosphate in Sri Lanka. So that is initiated now, but it will take some time before we come out with the production. So until such time, we need to have fertilizer in the country. For that interim period, we will go ahead and until such time we complete the production, we wouldn't know the exact quantity. So we are very hopeful that the Sri Lankan people should be able to produce that the fertilizer in Sri Lanka.
What is the progress that has been made at Pavala?
No, this was actually about a month ago. Honorable Minister submitted this cabinet proposal about a month ago. He has initiated that work and that will go ahead.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka further reduces the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate of the CBSL by 100 basis points each to 4.5% and 5.5% respectively. CBSL has arrived at this decision with a view to induce a further reduction in market lending rates and encourage the financial system to aggressively enhance lending to productive sectors of the economy. Accordingly, the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, at its meeting held yesterday, decided to reduce the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate of the central bank by 100 basis points each to 4.5% and 5.5% respectively. The CBSL statement notes that the board has arrived at this decision with a view to inducing a further reduction in market lending rates, thereby encouraging the financial system to aggressively enhance lending to productive sectors of the economy, which would reinforce support to COVID-19 hit businesses as well as to the broader economy given conditions of subdued inflation. The spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has significantly impacted near-term growth prospects globally, while available indicators for Sri Lanka also suggest that economic growth is likely to have been severely affected during the second quarter of 2020. Although a rebound is expected during the second half of the year with the support of monetary and fiscal stimulus measures, the introduction of growth-promoting and confidence-enhancing structural reforms is imperative to foster high and sustainable economic growth over the medium term, CBSL notes. On the external front, CBSL says that the trade deficit is estimated to have narrowed during the first 5 months of 2020, with the contraction in imports outweighing the contraction in exports. Stay tuned for more news right after this. Welcome back after the break. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa states that repatriated Sri Lankans who are employed outside the country will now have the choice to join the local labour force without returning abroad. Addressing the International Labour Organization Global Summit on COVID-19, the world of work, building a better future of work, President Rajapaksa added that the skills sector of the country require a rethinking in order to accommodate the new normal of the post-COVID period.
Sri Lanka has a considerable workforce that is employed outside the country. Even during the period where restrictions for air travel were imposed, we have repatriated nearly 15,000 Sri Lankans from destinations abroad so far. This fraction of the labour force will now have the choice to join the local labour force without returning to their original countries of employment. This in turn will shape the new normal of our world of work. Skills sector of Sri Lanka required a rethinking and re-engineering in order to accommodate the new normal of the post-COVID period. Reskilling and upskilling of employees will be addressed in our action plan to empower those who lost employment during this crisis. Sri Lanka views this as a stepping stone towards reshaping her world of work to suit the new normal in the post-COVID-19 period.
In contrary to several international agencies, an official from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka said that the country expects a contraction of gross domestic production in the second half of 2020. The senior central bank official also added that accordingly, they are hopeful of revising the 1.5% GDP growth forecast for the year. In 2019, Sri Lanka's growth slowed to 2.3%, lowest since 2001 as the economy was beset by the Easter Sunday attacks. In the first week of June, the World Bank projected a deeper recession for the Sri Lankan economy, which is a contraction of 3.2%, revising down its mid-April forecast of 3% contraction for 2020 projected at the height of the pandemic. The IMF maintained a much milder negative outlook with only 0.5% contraction projected for Sri Lanka and also said will revise it again. At the meantime, the World Bank said that the Sri Lankan economy will not rebound until 2022 as the country will only make its lost output during the whole of 2021. However, Central Bank projected a 1.5% GDP growth for 2020 after the coronavirus epidemic started in 2020, down from around 4% at the beginning of the year. However, senior official today said there was a lot of uncertainty about the global as well as domestic economic condition in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. He further added that the country's first quarter GDP is expected to be released in the next week and the observation of those data will allow a good platform to revise the forecast. He further said that the central bank expected the second quarter GDP to contract, but there would be a recovery in the second half. Head of the Department of Transport and Logistics Management of University of Moratuwa, Professor Amal Kumarage stresses that present education system in the country should be re-examined to meet its goals or the expected final results. The senior lecturer of the University of Moratuwa made these observations joining in the Art Television's latest discussion program titled Art Talk Walk, which was aired last night.
These are the questions that need to be looked at. So what's the end product of what we want in education as a citizen in society? Now, we have many problems to deal with in our country, and a lot of this is because of the things we talked about earlier, lack of understanding, lack of tolerance, lack of many things, empathy. So we can blame many historical events and even present events, but the fact that we cannot and have not been able to solve these means that there's something wrong in our own education system.
Yes. So these are the challenges in education that we as society, I think we have to address, otherwise we'll be having this conversation in the next maybe 15 years if we are around.
So I think parents are actually influenced by society. They try to follow because they want the best for their children. So society seems to have established some goalposts.
Stock updates will be brought to you by after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 20.89 points to close at 5,090.41 and the S&P SL20 gained 9.98 points to close at 2,205.66. The turnover was 967 million rupees and over 34 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care. Good night.